When somebody sees someone in a wheelchair, they look past that they're human. And so I just thought, I'm never really gonna have friends again because nobody even just talked to me.
Well, Naomi was just an average child. She loved to play with her siblings outside, walking, running, riding bikes, jumping on the trampoline.
I remember the first day when everything started kind of going weird. We were just walking around in a city in Europe and my foot kind of started just turning in and I started complaining about a sharp pain at the bottom of my foot. And then it just kind of escalated from there.
After a period of time, we started to pursue medical intervention, doctors, try to figure out what was going on. And she was diagnosed at that point with a functional neurological disorder.
There was a lot of unknowns in I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know why I couldn't move normally. And I was just, frustrated that I couldn't control my body. I couldn't do things that other kids could do. I couldn't enjoy anything with my family. Like if we were out at a restaurant, I would just, I'd be so spasmodic that I couldn't even really eat because I would just be like completely tense. I would just have to sit and watch everybody do everything.
A few weeks in, noticing things were not changing for Naomi, that drove her deeper into emotionally struggling more, and she sort of gave up. So after that, there were some really dark times.
I literally thought I would never, ever walk again, and I would never be able to stand straight, and I would never have relief from the constant muscle tensions.
She withdrew a bit more into herself, and she was given the gift of being an artist, and so she really just sort of started leaning more into that because she couldn't run and play with her friends, her siblings anymore. So she spent a lot of time alone, laying on the floor in her bedroom or living room, wherever we were.
I had this constant darkness that I couldn't really escape, so drawing really just kind of gave me a little bit of freedom. It just made me feel like I could actually express myself in some small way.
My lowest point was a transition to the wheelchair. Because at that point, there's a sense of you're kind of giving up, that you've run out of options.
Being that dependent on a machine and something that I wasn't able to control, and having other people do things for me was very scary, and I would soon learn that I would have to live that way. And there were like several nights where I would just cry myself to sleep, which I think that was for about 4 years that I would do that, and I would just, pray to God, like, why are you doing this to me? Please heal me. I prayed that every night ever since everything began.
The way that our culture deals with things like that is to either stand in silence and stare, to rarely offer a hand, to never get down on their level to talk to them. And one thing that I talked to Naomi about was, wouldn't it be nice if someone would talk to the girl in the wheelchair? Because time and time again, that wouldn't happen. And there were many, many nights where the tears would just flow, not begging God for healing, begging God that he would somehow encourage Naomi so that she could have joy, that she would know the joy of the Lord. It was a fight for joy, and I wasn't winning. But when the joy would come, what a sweet joy it was to see that our daughter in the wheelchair would even say that she wouldn't trade all of that suffering for healing because of what God has done in her life to give her faith. God was showing his works. The works of God were being displayed in Naomi in ways that we hadn't anticipated, but there was this quiet work of her heart going on, and I want to be like her.
Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I feel like the purpose of this journey that God has placed in my life was just kind of putting me in a position where I am completely surrendered to him and even to be a testimony to those around me. When you can't do anything, you know that God is literally walking with you when you can't. And that was just my hope, and even just the hope that eventually I'll be healed in eternity.